Every one of these sewer systems we install is supposed to keep the water out, but across the industry, we've accepted the fact that it doesn't. We don't say it out loud, but we know it. Manholes leak, they crack, and then they fail. And when they do, it's not immediate. It shows up later, 6 months, a year, 5 years down the line. But by then, the crew's gone, the job's closed, and somebody else is paying for it. And here's the truth. The people paying for it aren't the ones installing it. That never sat right with me. Let's just call it what it is. Municipalities are drowning in inflow and infiltration. Every gallon of groundwater that gets into the system has to be treated. That costs money and that takes capacity. It creates problems that shouldn't exist in the first place. And the crazy part is, we know exactly where it's coming from. Manholes are one of the biggest entry points. Not because people are doing bad work. It's just the standard we've chosen to accept. Let me walk you through it. First, we got the joints at the top, the adjusting rings and the casting. Those are leaking. You've got the concrete structures, they crack over time. Those are leaking. Every seam in the precast system is a potential failure point. Every pipe penetration, another opportunity for water to get in. And over time, it does. Water always wins. And then there's corrosion. This isn't just a maybe, this is a guarantee. You put concrete in that environment, it will deteriorate from the inside out. Slow at first, then all at once. And once that structure starts to break down, you're not fixing it, you're managing failure. And we don't talk enough about the other side of this, exfiltration. What happens when sewage from inside the system gets out? It's into the groundwater, into the lakes, and into the environment. This isn't just an infrastructure issue, this is a water issue, a community issue. And then there's safety. We've normalized sending people into confined spaces that we know are dangerous. Toxic gases, structural deterioration, and we accept it as part of the job. It shouldn't be. You know, I didn't come into this from a lab. I came up through the field. Having spent now 30 years of my life in this construction business, I've seen almost all of it. I've seen these systems installed, dealt with the callbacks, and I've been on jobs where things didn't go according to plan. And I've seen what happens not on the install day, but months later, years later, when the system stopped doing what it was designed to do. And that's when it clicked for me. You know, the problem wasn't really the install, the problem was the structure itself. And here's what's wild. The technology to fix this already exists. We're not waiting on some breakthrough. We're not guessing. We already know how to build systems that don't leak, that don't corrode, and that don't fail in the same way. But the industry has been slow to change because this is how it's always been done. Specs are written in a certain way, processes are familiar, and when something is familiar, it's really hard to challenge it, even when we know it's not the best solution. So we decided to do something a little different. Not improve concrete, replace it. And that's where the Poo Pit comes in. It's a fully sealed system, no stacked joints, no seams waiting to fail, and no material that breaks down in that environment. It's built to eliminate the exact problem we've dealt with for years. And this wasn't designed for perfect conditions. It was designed for real job sites, real installs, for real crews with real timelines. Here's the simplest way I can put it. You don't fix infiltration by building something that allows it. Let's talk about the features of the Poo Pit. So we have a 2-foot diameter, rotationally molded polyethylene, 5/8 of an inch thick, incredibly durable and incredibly impact resistant. Every unit is molded with an outlet. So this is an 8-inch sample, but we offer 4 different sizes, a 6, an 8, a 10, and a 12. Each unit is molded with the outlet coming out at bottom dead center out of the unit. And we adapt to the pipe that you're using in the field. So it's typically PVC. This sample here is a DR35 PVC pipe, and it comes spigoted, ready to go, ready for installation. It already comes pre-glued into the pit and air tested. Now, just like a typical manhole, we have to have the inlets come in at a certain grade and a certain angle. So we can bring up to 3 12-inch inlets into the body with a 12-inch outlet. In this example here, we have an 8-inch coming in at 180 degrees. So it's a typical straight through at a 0.5% slope with a 0-inch drop into the ball. This is an 8-inch spigoted end, but we can offer this in a bell or whatever type of pipe that you're connecting to. It'll be ready to go and ready for installation. Now for your riser is standard 12-inch PVC pipe. It comes pre-spigoted and pre-glued into the Poo Pit, ready for installation. The contractor just takes standard 12-inch pipe all the way to the surface, up to 25 feet deep. At the top, we can cut it off, And then we provide this 2-piece cap. You glue this collar on at the surface. And then we provide this gasketed cover. This goes on, little turn, and now it's completely airtight. Every unit is air tested to 5 PSI for 5 minutes before it leaves the factory, so you know you got zero infiltration. And now you can air test your entire system all at the same time. So how do we finish this at the surface? We take a standard concrete riser ring on top of our backfill material. So once we backfill and compact this really well, we put that ring and you put your standard frame and cover on top of this. All the weight is distributed to the cover and down to the ring, and there's no loading here on the PVC riser. Let's see if you have a drop connection. What do we do now? So you can have a drop coming anywhere on this ball, but if you had a drop connection coming at a higher elevation, say 10 feet above the invert, a simple 12 by 12 inch T on this riser, the sewage can now come in here and fall right into the poo pit. It self-cleans and makes its way out. So now with this 12-inch riser, this completely obviously eliminates all manned access, and all your cleaning, all your flushing, and all your camera work can be done via this 12-inch riser. It's been done for 25 years now, with over 250,000 of these in the ground. Okay, let's talk about how this actually performs. First, the install. This goes in clean, fewer components, fewer variables, and less opportunity for something to go wrong. And when something is simpler to install, it's more consistent, and that matters. Second, connections. The system integrates directly with any pipe system, including HDPE and PVC. It even ties in nicely with your drop connections. This isn't something you have to force to work. It's built for how systems are installed today. Third, precision. We've developed structures like the laser launch for projects where alignment matters, where accuracy matters, and when you don't have time to adjust in the field. It's built to go in right the first time. And then there's longevity. This isn't about extending life, this is about removing failure points. Because when you eliminate the things that cause failure, you change the outcome entirely. Let's bring this back to reality, because at the end of the day, this is all about results. When infiltration goes down, treatment costs go down. When system capacity goes up, maintenance costs go down. And long-term planning actually becomes predictable. We've even built tools to help quantify this. Take a look at this calculator, where you can now input your very own numbers and see exactly what this means for your projects. This isn't theoretical. We've met many municipalities from coast to coast who are already seeing the benefits of putting poo pits in on their projects. So here's how I'd leave you. If you're a contractor, this makes your job easier. Cleaner installs, fewer callbacks, less risk. If you're a distributor, this makes you more valuable. You're not just supplying materials, you're bringing better solutions to your customers. And if you're a municipality, this protects your system long-term, the way it should be. We didn't build the poo pit to compete with concrete. We built it to replace it.